it's me for NeraStudio.com. Welcome to another very exciting Adobe Premiere Pro CC tutorial. In this video, we're gonna learn how to insert the image or video inside the mask or track matte effect with the assets that you can download on my site. As you know, it's free, so feel free to download. Those assets can be used in any video edition software like Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, Apple Motion, Sony Vegas, Avid, and Final Cut Pro, or iMovie as well. Before I start the tutorial, we're gonna see some preview. I created After Effects and Premiere Pro. So let me just go back to my YouTube channel, and I have some previews in here. And also I have another project which I created in Premiere Pro. As you see, it looks nice. It was created only in Premiere Pro using the assets that you can download on my site. If you go to my website and see this box, click and it will take to the download page. It says download for PC and Mac. So as you know, it works with the Mac and PC. Any other version, you know, Premiere Pro CS3, CS4, CS5, CS6, or the latest we have, or Adobe has, which is the Creative Cloud. And so let me just, minimize the browser and open Premiere Pro. Actually, I have this open, and let's check and see the project, what we're gonna be creating today. Let me just play. Alright, as you see, we got the image inside the mask. As I said before, can be video or a static image, and also you see the reflection, the lights flying around, and the background. It's created only in Premiere Pro, so that's what I'm using Premiere, and that's what I say we're gonna be creating only in Premiere, of course. The background, the sequence, and the lights animation. Well, it won't work like you do in After Effects. Like I made this one actually. Let me just. You see the lights is like blinking or flying around. It's kind of like, you know, it's really looking nice. But in Premiere we can animate like this, because in After Effects we used the expressions to move the lights around. Anyway, so let's let's try to create something similar. You know, as you saw, I just played this, and we have the lights, flying around. So let me just close this, and actually let me go File, New, and let's open a new project. Let me just name this Tits Matte. And then, okay, once we have the Premiere open, also we need to create a sequence. So let me go New again, Sequence, and then go to, here we got the new sequence panel, and also we have to give it a name. We're gonna call this Main, and make sure the preset is 1080p, Full HD, of course, is 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second. And let me just hit OK. And also we're gonna create another sequence. Go File, New, Sequence, and this one we're gonna call one, then another sequence will be 2, And lastly, we're gonna create another sequence, and let's call 3. Then hit OK. So let's go back to my project panel. As you see, we got 4 sequences, which is main, 1, 2, and 3. And then we need to go back to the main. First, we need to create the background. So the way to create a background is go File, New, and then Title. And let's rename this background. We need to have a solid color. Make sure the background is checked, and then the fill type, we're gonna choose radial gradient, and also we're gonna change the colors. So let me just change the color to white. For this project, I already have the values, but you can use any color you like. Let me just change this also, which is the value is, you can copy the same color, choose your own color. A1, B6. Hit OK, and there we got our background. It's in the project panel, and then we need to drag into the timeline. Make sure it's in the first layer. So once we have the background, we need to work in the sequence 1. Well, let's start browsing the media. Have some images and the overlays or assets that we download from the site. So I have in my footage 2014, which is my external hard drive, and then Premiere for 2014. Also, then go to methods, and then images, folder 3. Let's search for the image. I'm gonna use the same image that I had in the preview. So it's this large 001. So let me just grab into the first layer. Make sure to have in the first layer. And then we need to look for the overlay or the mask. So let me just close this and go to my footage 2014, then Premiere 2014 as well. Then I have in my methods. Let me close this. And what was it? It was in the overlay. So that's what I like from the Adobe, because it has you can preview the assets or preview the image and the media browser panel, or you can use the bridge to preview those masks. So we're gonna be using this one. Let me just drag into the timeline, make sure it's in the second layer, and also let's extend the image the same duration of the mask. Once we have the image, make sure it's selected and go to the effects panel and look for the track matte key, which is under the video effects, keying, and track matte key. Let me just drag into the image. Once we drag and drop into the image, we have to go to effect control. As you see here, we got the effect applied to the image. Where it says matte, we need to change to video 2 because we have the mask and the video 2. And then we have our image inside the mask. Okay, so let's work in the sequence 2. But before to work in the sequence 2, let me go back to 1 and make sure I selected the image. And let me just copy the effect we applied to the image. To copy is simple. It's just holding down Command or Control in PC, and then C key as a Charlie, and then go back to my sequence 2 and also go back to media browser. Let me just drag this in this to the second layer, and also we need to look for the image. What it was gonna use this one down in the first layer. Also we need to extend to have the same duration of the mask. Once we have the image, so it's just make sure it's selected, go back to the effect control, also make sure it's selected, so you will know when it's active because you see this yellow line around, so that means that you are in the right panel. And so let me just hit Command or a small b Control small b and PC, and then we just duplicate or copy the effect preset, and we don't have to do anything. It's automatically inserting into the mask, you know. So let me just go to the third sequence, and the same thing, we need to look for the image. Actually, let me see, I'm gonna grab this into the first layer, and also we need to look for the overlay. Use this last one, drag into the second layer, extend the image to have the same duration of the mask, and then make sure the image selected, go to the effect control, make sure it's active, and then holding down command or small b, control small b PC, or you can go edit and then paste. That's it. Okay, let me just go back to my main sequence, and let's start working or adding this sequence to this main sequence. Make sure to extend a little bit the background, and let me go back to project panel. Okay, so here we go. So let me just grab the sequence, make sure it's in the second layer, the sequence 2, and this sequence 3. As we see, we have seems like the audio, when we create this sequence, it creates also the audio and drops in the audio layer. The way to unlink this from the video is just select all of them, right click, and then unlink. So if you see, we have this unlinked, so make sure to select all of them again and just hit the delete key, and it will go away. Well, once we have this, also let me just, insert my sound, which I have in, let me see what I have. It's not in my footage 2014. I got in Lion, OS Lion. Then go to my users. Actually, I have in Creative Spanish, Documents, Laptop 2014, and where I have it's ready to purchase. I have this called a Wave Spectrum. If you like this track or this sound effect, just let me know. Leave the comment on YouTube or my website. I suggest you to leave on my website, So let me see how it looks. Nera Studio. Yeah, the next step we need to do is just resize the image because it's too big. So the way to resize it, just select the sequence, make sure it's selected, and then go back to my effect control, make sure also it's the motion is selected, and open this triangle where it says scale. We're gonna drag down to 50 maybe. No, let me see, 45 might be working good. And also we need to do the same with all the sequence. In this case we have 3 sequence, so make sure it's selected, also motion is selected, and then scale, drag down to 50 maybe. Yeah, and also we need to go to the last one, which is the sequence 3. Make sure the motion is selected, go scale, and then 50. Okay, but for some reason it's the background is not appearing. But I have to extend the background, of course. Let me see. Actually, let me just extend it, and there we go. Also, let me just duplicate the sound. The way to duplicate the sound in image or whatever you have in the timeline using Premiere Pro is holding down Option in Mac will be Alt in PC, and just drag, and you can duplicate. You see? Duplicate one more. Okay, here we go. So let me see, play it. Alright, our next step is to apply the lights. Well, to apply the lights is we need to go File, New, Title. Let's name this Lens Flare. and click OK. So make sure the background is selected and make sure it's solid and the color is black. For this we have to make sure the color is black, otherwise it won't work. So let me just close this and go back to my project panel, and I have this lens flare solid color. Then just drag into the timeline, make sure it's in the top. In this case we have in the third layer, and then we're gonna start applying the lens flare. Go back to my effect panel and look for the lens, which is lens flare. Just drag and drop into the layer, and here we go. Also we need to change to 105 millimeters prime, and then make sure the layer is selected. Go back to my effect control, opacity, and the blend mode we're gonna add a screen, and there we have. And also we need to duplicate the lens flare. So the way to duplicate, as I said before, is just select, go back to edit, copy, back to edit again, and then paste. We need to duplicate 3. You cannot duplicate as many you want. So let me go paste, one more, paste, and here we go. Also let me just rename the lens. So let me give a right click and then go rename. Let's put this one. This one we're gonna put 3. Actually, let me see, this will be 2, of course. This one, three, and this one will be 4. Alright, so now we have to start, animating the lens flare manually. As I said before, we cannot use the expression like we used to use in After Effects. So let me just animate this, as I said, manually. So let me go first to the first layer. Actually, let me just arrange those lens flares. So this, let me just put this to the right side. This one, let's put in the bottom. And this one, maybe we can put this bottom right side. Okay, so make sure the CTI is in the first frame. Let's start animating the first lens flare. Make sure when it says flare center, click to add a keyframe, and then go back to 6 seconds, and let me just start, animating. Just move to the left, then to the center tab, and also maybe moving to the right bottom, and then go back to the left side maybe. Okay, let's close this. And also we need to, animate all of the lens flares. So let me go and apply the keyframe and make sure it's selected, and go to 11 seconds. Actually, let me just drag. You can animate this all around the screen. So let me just, start playing with. Actually, it takes a little time, I know. Hold on, what happened here? Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video and I will come back after we finish the animating the other 2 last lens flares. Alright, be back after animated the 2 last lens flares. So let me see how it looks. There we go, we have the lens flare flying around. The only thing we need to add is the reflection to all the sequence we have. In this case, we have 3. So let me see. Actually, let me just select the second layer and the third layer and just move one layer up. And the way to create the reflection is select the one sequence or the first sequence, holding down Option Alt and PC and drag down to the first layer, the same this one and also this one. And then we're gonna select all the sequence and the first layer, and we're gonna look for the vertical flip. So let me see the flip. We got a vertical flip, and we just apply it to the sequence. And then if we see, here we got the image, flip it vertical. So we need to make a couple change. If we go back to the control effect, actually, it's saying it's multiple clip select to make sure select only one clip. Let me just close this. We have to reposition this. So let me go to motion. When it says position, we need to move the Y position. So let me see, 990, and let's see, there you go. I already know the values because I'm working this project. But if you working with another mask or projects, it won't be the same value. So you can just drag, to see like this, you can try and be playing. So let me see with 990, and also we need to change the Y position also with 940. There you go. And also the last one, we need to change the Y position also 40. There you go. And also we need to apply the effect preset called linear wipe. We need to apply it to the whole sequence, And then we need to make a couple changes. Let me close this, go to linear wipe, and this we can add maybe 80. The transition completion, and also we need to change the angle. So let me make sure it's 1.0. There you go. And also the father, we need to go up to 100%. Actually 100, it's not percent. There you go. And maybe applying the opacity as well. So let me just go and add a 20%. Maybe 25. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah. And also we need to go, actually, you know what? Let me go back to my effect control, and let's just, copy. So, it's holding down Command C, Control C, and PC. Go back to my sequence 2, make sure, and then make sure the effect control is selected, and then paste. Or can go edit and paste, or hold down Command and a small b to paste. And there we go. Also we need to down the opacity to 25. There you go. And the last one, make sure the sequence is selected, and also we're gonna paste it. Go edit and paste. So then also we need to go to opacity and then drag down to 25%. And let's see. Okay, we got the image inside the mask, and also we have the reflection and the lights flying around. So let me play and see how it looks. Nera Well, as you see, it's not playing smoothly in real time because we need to render this out. So let me render this out and I'll be back when it's finished and see if it plays smoothly. Okay, here we are back after the render is finished. So let me play and see if it plays smoothly. Nera Studio. Nera Studio. Nera. Okay, it's playing nice actually. Let me see. As you see, we got the let me just unsell or mute the sound and see. I just want to see the lights flying around, the reflection. You see, creates a nice effect, just using Premiere Pro. So let me just put this on mute and let me play that again. Studio. Nera Studio. Nera Studio. Okay, this is all for this tutorial. Hope you guys like it. Please leave a comment on YouTube, subscribe, leave a like it. If you didn't like this video, of course you can unlike or whatever you can do. Also, you can leave a comment. Tell me if you really like the video, if you don't like the video, whatever. Anything's welcome. And also, please subscribe my site. I have my site. I have the subscription form. For sign up for and get the updates. It's much easier and keep tuned. So this is all for today. Hope you guys like it. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Okay, see you next time.